Hey boys, Semphis here. I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a quick recap of like the last, two or three events that Team Splice, my team, was at, and kind of like my opinions on what happened and stuff like that. So first off, we went to Rog Masters qualifier, which didn't have the most like stacked competition. Obviously, it was like us, Rogue Gaming, Ghost, and Subtle, which was kind of like a pug because a couple of their players couldn't end up going. We ended up winning that tournament in a best of five, and I will say that's a great venue. Honestly, the people that hosted us, they gave us all their own rooms, really nice hotels, shuttles to the event. They even brought in like a big pizza truck that made like fresh oven baked pizza right there. So, I mean, can't really complain. It was really nice. And apparently, you can go and boot camp there and you can rent it out. And if you want the venue to be like simulate like an event you're going to, they can make the lights brighter or make like loud noise and stuff like that. So, it's actually not a bad place maybe to go and boot camp and stuff. So, I don't know, maybe in the future we could go there with my team and prep before a LAN or whatever. So, I actually really enjoyed that event. Um, Not really a whole lot went on. It was only four teams, so we just ended up winning the best of five. Um, I felt like we were in control for most of the games, besides Cobble that we got kind of owned on. But Cobble has been kind of like notoriously bad for us in the last couple weeks/months. So we won that, which qualified us for like the MLG or the MLG the ROG Masters Malaysia event, which is in Malaysia, and uh, that event was like the one that we had a really decent chance of doing well at for an event that scale, like $250,000. The best teams being like Tyloo and Gambit and maybe like Vega Squadron because Mouse Sports ended up dropping out. So I was actually very excited for this event because I don't know, it just felt like all those teams are beatable. Like I know Gambit and Tyloo and those teams are good, don't get me wrong, you always got to respect like your teams that you're playing. You can't be overconfident, but if you're going to a $250,000 tournament, you got to admit that's a pretty good team list. There's not like an SK there. There's not there's not a phase or anything. So it was all beatable teams. Definitely like a good growing experience for my team. So went up being there. Hotel's super nice. It was kind of like a resort hotel. Super hot. It's like 30 Celsius every day with like 100% humidity. You walk outside and you're just like dripping, especially me because I weigh so much. But we'll change that in a different video. And yeah, so the Malaysia is actually really, really beautiful, super nice. And I actually enjoyed Malaysia a lot. I think that would be like a great place to go for a vacation just because it was just like felt really safe and it's just like the resort was super cheap and the food was great and everything was like pretty nice. So I actually think Malaysia is pretty awesome. It's one of the nicer like places I've been that was kind of like more tropical, I guess. But anyways, going on to the event, so we had our media day, and you have to fly there. It's like 24 hours of travel, so you're a little bit jet lagged and stuff. But you do your media, you get some food, blah blah blah. Um, so we get to the event. The first day we end up playing, five power, which we beat them pretty easily. Um, they definitely had good aim. They just didn't really have good teamwork. It felt like almost everyone on their team was kind of just doing their own thing, trying to get like kind of random kills. So it was not like they were like a bad team or bad players or anything. Like they definitely could hit shots. It was just like, they would walk through smokes and it was almost like they were just trying to random you rather than like playing like a proper system. But anyways, we won that game 2-0, which put us versus Gambit. Um, where we beat them on Mirage in overtime, which was like a pretty big win because it kind of gives you confidence, like okay, we can beat Gambit. Um, Mirage was a map we've recently introduced to our map pool. Like we played it like a little bit, but we just were too bad at overpass. Like we just couldn't like find our groove on it. So we end up kind of playing Mirage recently, a couple weeks leading up to the event, and it went well. It felt good. Then we played Nuke, and Nuke was a map that like we actually used to be pretty confident on, But one of the problems was that we switched me to being like full-time in-game leader rifle and Mitch to the Opper. And before our nuke was like not so, it was like pretty good. Like in my opinion, it was one of our better maps, maybe even like top two. But with the change, you know how like it is like it's hard to scrim nuke, right? Because no one wants to play it. Even teams that are good on it, they rather play with their weaker maps just because like it's unlikely you even get to play it in a tournament anyways a lot of the time. So when we got to nuke, the problem was that we just didn't have a lot of practice with me and Mitch having the role swap. So what ended up happening is we just kind of like felt a little bit awkward and rusty, and it wasn't like just basically everything wrong that could have gone wrong happened. You know, people went through, kind of screwed up a strat. Like the roles were a little bit different, and it just like me and Mitch's role swap definitely didn't help. But then we made other mistakes on top of that, and it just ended up being like a pretty easy win for them. We didn't get crushed, but um, you know, I don't know. We definitely would have been better if we just kept me opping outside. Um, Not that I'm blaming Mitch, but it's just like I sucked it in there and he sucked it outside because we just had no reps. We had no practice really playing it with the role swap. So we ended up losing Nuke, and then we thought that we just got second in the group, right? Because we just thought it went by rounds, but apparently it went tiebreaker, and we ended up playing Mirage again. And this time instead of us winning both the pistols in the first game, we lost them both, and we kind of just like lost the game 16-12 or something like that. And it was just like the difference was just the pistols. Even if we got one, I think we could have got to OT or something again, but you know once the team that loses versus the team that beat them on a map, I think it's a little bit easier for them to adapt for the map the second time. So maybe it was a mistake replaying the same map again, but it is what it is. The next day, we ended up playing Tyloo, which is kind of unfortunate because they're probably the best team in that group, but they ended up getting upset, so we actually had to play them. And um, yeah, we won Train, which we kind of expected because they didn't really look that good on Train, and it did get a little bit close, but it always felt like we were the better team on Train. We had a really huge T side, and we kept just like screwing up on our CT, losing like 5v3s and stuff. And eventually we got it, but like in my opinion, we were in control the whole time on Train, uh, for the most part. And then the next map was Cobble, which unfortunately we have to ban Overpass because they're a team that was very good on Overpass, and Cobble is their best map. So um, if I thought they would like not pick Overpass, I would have just banned Cobble because I know they're really good on it. And it was one of those maps that we kind of needed a miracle to win on. Like I said before, we lost to Ghost Gaming at the Rog Masters on it and qualifier, and we're just not like something is just off. Like I said, we switched me and Mitch's roles, and it fixed a lot of stuff on T side because it let me kind of be in the middle of the pack and kind of control things better. Um, on T side, but some of our CTs have got a little bit weaker in my opinion, just because the roles and people not being like super comfy in them. Um, Anyways, I think our Cobble was better before with our nuke, but I think the switches improved all the other maps a lot. So, it's just one of those things that we got to keep working. Got to keep working on it, and the switch probably was for the best though. So we ended up losing Cobble pretty easily. It's kind of like, I'm not going to say I expected to lose because I know we could have beat him, but it was one of those things where like we needed people to play well. Like we got owned on our T side, and then we won CD Pistol, and then we got ecoed. So it's like we did ourselves no favors. I think we ended up stringing a bunch of rounds together, but you know when you're losing ecos and dumb stuff like that with a bad first half, it's just, I mean, we're in no position to win basically. So we lost that game, and then we went on towards the third map, which was Cache, which has actually been pretty good of a map for us. We started playing it a lot more in practice. Like it was a map that we just kind of like had there, like it was kind of sitting there. But we used to focus a lot on Train. We focused a lot on Train, Cobble, um, and Nuke at the start of our team, because when you make a new team, it's like you kind of got to pick a couple maps that you want to be good on, and kind of one map you don't want to play, and improve them slowly. So Cache, we've been playing for a little bit. Sort of felt like we should have won, um, which is sad to say. Because like if you go watch the demo, there's just a bunch of rounds where like we're up 5v3 on CT, and people just fought. we just peaked. Like it was like our fault, you know. Like people overcommitted in 5v3s, 4v3s. Every time we had a lead, we like give it back to them in positions where we could have hit. You know, it wasn't like, you know, you get a kill and then someone just comes out and trades you, and it's like, oh well, nice try, you know, you got your kill. It's no, like we threw the rounds 100%. Like I was actually I was pretty pissed on a lot of the mistakes we made, but what can we do? So we should have won that first half like 11-4, but we only got like a 8-7 or something. And then we switched to T, lost pistol, and we kind of went down like 0-6. And then we started just doing kind of a default mid control, and we just started winning a bunch in a row. I think if we either won T pistol or started doing just a default at the start of the game, we could have grinded it out and won, but we ended up losing. And it's just like, I don't know. Um, I could have adapted a little bit quicker on T side, but the CT mistakes were like those mistakes that turned the half from being, you know, a 13 to 11-4 to like an 8-7, and I just, in my opinion, that's unacceptable. Like the rounds we lost were just ridiculous. Anyways, so that was like a depressing loss, and it knocked us out of the tournament, and it was just like, I don't know. I really wanted to do well at that tournament, so I was kind of pissed at that, but you know, we switched Mitch and me opping. And like going forward, we just have to keep sticking to roles and like improving and getting better on more and more maps, because we can't, you know, keep roster, like we can't just keep swapping ops and roles and in-game leaders, or we're never going to get in a groove and like improve. So I think we just got to keep like kind of grinding, which we'll do in the next week or two because no teams are playing right now. So and then right when I got back 2 days later, I went to the Mountain Dew event with Davey, who actually missed his flight a million times because his plane got hit by an owl, and it delayed everything. But just took the plane right out of the air. It was crazy. But so we end up going to the Mountain Dew event, and we're kind of just there to like hang out and like record some videos for Twitch for like a live stream. It wasn't anything really CS related. It was more like sponsored Mountain Dew. But the reason I bring this up is because Toronto is a really cool place. The only negative was it was in Breckenridge, and I've been to Aspen and Denver before, which are both like around 65, 7,500 feet, and I never felt any like altitude sickness. I went to this Breckenridge place. It's like 9,500 feet. Dude, I could not sleep. Every hour on the hour, I just wake up, and it just felt like you haven't drank water in like a year. You're so thirsty. And I was just like, what is going on? And I couldn't sleep properly the whole time I was there, and you're just like dehydrated, chugging water, and like you like get out of bed or take one step and it feels like you've ran a marathon. It was so weird. And I guess, you know, we're only there for like 4 days, so we didn't really have like a good amount of time to like climatize ourselves to it, right? But it's like it was a nice event, but if I could have slept and not felt like shit the whole time, it would have been much, much better. So just anyone ever thinking about going there, I don't know. I would climatize first. I would stay in Denver for a day or two before going up there, because I think, you know, we like got out of the airport and just like drove up there, and you just kind of you go from being like 50 feet off sea level to 9,500 feet, and your body doesn't really like it. Um, but we did some random stuff there, saw some snowboarding and whatnot, and that kind of ended like and then I got back and it was pretty much just Christmas, so I've been busy, you know, doing a bunch of Christmas stuff. I bought a couch back there, and I killed a wolf, actually, because I'm Canadian and we all hunt, all of us. And I made that pillow and a blanket for my couch. So um, that's what I've been doing. And then, um, what else was I going to say? I was going to say, oh yeah. So then I also decided after I got back from, when I got back from Breckenridge, that I was going to take like time off all games. So I have like, since I'm 13, I think I've played video games every day of my life for like 10 hours, you know, like just every day. Like, you know, I think I've taken some time off of Counter-Strike where I've only DM'd, you know, 1 or 2 hours a day or whatever. But I decided, like, you know, I'm going to play like no games, like nothing, like no games. So I just did family stuff, hung out, watched a bunch of Netflix, watched the Unabomber, basically an expert in bombs now, and some other stuff. And went to the gym, hung out with some people, and then now coming back January 2nd, I'm gonna start playing CS again, and it's gonna be the first time in my life that I have like fully detoxed from like all games. So hopefully everything's way more fun and just like exciting. Not that I'm bored of CS because I still love it, but you know, it'll be interesting like not having played for like kind of a longer amount of time, which I think I probably should have done earlier. But you always want to play. Like you always want to play games no matter what. So there's a couple times I sat down and I was like, I should load up. And I was like, nah, just a couple more days. We'll just detox and come back fresh and more motivated. So that was pretty much my Christmas and the last couple events. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And anyone that's interested, I might buy a camera because I can't really do this with my phone. It would just be too bad. I might buy a camera and start doing like a diet vlog thing because I'm dieting right now. So I'm actually 261 pounds right now, around there. Um, so I'm trying to drop to probably like around 230 pounds. I'll probably drop, 5 to 10 pounds of water pretty quick. So, but I was thinking I'll just make a little video, and anyone that has problems losing weight or is overweight and just doesn't know what to do, I was gonna guide you all through it. So, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. There was some interest on Twitter, but I am kind of interested to see what I look like at a lower body fat because I definitely have gained a lot of strength and stuff. So, um, and I don't really consider myself fat, but I know I'm not lean. Like I know I'm not like shredder or anything. There's no doubt about that. But I definitely could stand to lose some weight. So, if you guys want me to do videos about that, leave some comments and. Yeah, anyone else have video ideas or anything you want me to talk about, just leave in the comment. That's just kind of just like a recap. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back with some more content, hopefully regularly. Peace.